Hey, this is HVR Gaming giving you a Blackwing deck profile. This deck is specifically made for competing with the current meta, and most of the combos you're going to go into are for OTKs, and let's get into it. So to start off, for your 3-ofs, you're going to run 3 Chris. Chris is great because he's immune to spell and trap once per turn, and you could search out almost every other card in the deck with him with Whirlwind. So then you're going to run 3 Boar. Boar is good because he could special summon himself out. And with a lot of your OTK combos, you can put the attack onto him because he does piercing battle damage too. Then you're going to run 2 Sirocco. A lot of people don't run Sirocco, but I like to use his second effect to combo with Hawk Joe to run over monsters and usually OTK people. He's really good for that. 2 Kalute. Kalute's your hand trap. He protects your monsters. He's basically the honest for the deck. Gives him 1400 attack during the damage step. Then 2 Harmattan, he's the newest Blackwing. You can special himself out. He adds consistency because when you only draw your tuners in Whirlwind, you don't have a lot to search for. So you search for him, he changes his level, and you get into 8 stars with him. Then you're going to run, now that's for your non-tuners. For your tuners, you're going to run 2 Gale. Gale's great because he could special summon himself out, and he can have the attack and defense of one monster. So he's great for running things over and gets you into your synchro plays. 2 Panak. Panak can't special summon himself out, but he gives you a search during the end phase, so he lets you get into your higher monsters. If you use him and Harmattan, then you could search Chris and go from there. And 2 Blizzard. Blizzard's a 1-card synchro. You bounce the monster from the graveyard, and then you go into your plays like that. You usually go Blizzard into Boar or Chris and go into your Nathungs. Then this hurts to do, but only 1 Shura. With the current meta, he's really not that good. With Pendulums, the monsters usually don't go to the graveyard. They go back to the extra deck, so his effect's not that good. You could still use him to search out your non-tuners, but he's not that good at more than 1 anymore. Zephyros great for combo pieces. You bounce your card back, you special summon him. And Gladius. Gladius is good for normal summoning Panak or Gale, and then you search him and go into your 6s. And then Oroshi's great. If you don't know the combo with Nathung and Hawk Joe, it's pretty self-explanatory, but he's great for little combo pieces like that. So now onto your spells and traps. This is a more trap-heavy deck than spells. I run it pretty light for spells. So you're going to start off with 3 Whirlwind. Whirlwind's great. It lets you search every single card in your deck with less attack than the monster you normal summon. So it lets you go into all of your synchros. This card's fantastic. When you have more than 1 on the field, you just swarm. It's amazing. Then 1 Instant Fusion. Nordin's in the extra, so you're going to Instant Fusion into Nordin and then get into your combo plays for that. It's a great card to have. Then a Soul Charge. A lot of times late game, this card will win you the duel because you could bring back just Hawk Joe, and then you can use Hawk Joe's effect to bounce monsters back without having to pay the life points from Soul Charge. Then Allure of Darkness, it's draw power. All these are dark monsters. Then 2 Pot of Duality. A lot of people run Upstarts instead of Pot of Duality, but I like to go into my traps for Pot of Duality and or Whirlwind. So the Upstarts don't give you the option that that does. And this is it for spells. It's very, very light for spells. Now for traps, I run triple Icarus Attack. This card is amazing. It's this is the older version, so it's the selected targets 2 monsters and you pop them. It's great for just ruining people's plays, and if you combo that with Panak, you get a search afterward too. So it's ways to make plays with this deck during your opponent's turn. Then Black Sonic. This card is basically better Mirror Force. It banishes the monsters. Instead, the only drawback is you have to control Blackwing. So if you want, you can sub this out for Mirror Force, but I prefer this card. Then Delta Crow. Delta Crow is basically Harpy's Feather Duster. When you control Blackwing monster, you destroy all face-down spell and traps. The best way to use this is you wait till your opponent sets 5, and then you chain this to their end phase, so they can't activate them in response. Then Ring of Destruction, tribute your opponent's monster, you both take the damage. Reject Reborn is great in this deck. It's basically a Battle Fader and Monster Reborn. Lets you pop your Synchros back onto the field, ends their battle phase. A good thing to do with this is if you have the 1-star Orochi and Nathung out, you special both of these because this is effects negated, and then you go the 7 into Hawk Joe, and then use Joe's effect to bounce back Nathung. And the next turn you have him with his effect, and you have him. So that's the best way to use that card. Then Ferret Flames. A lot of the decks in this format OTK or lock really well. So Ferret Flames is great for your Cosmos because they shuffle the ships back into the deck, and for Monarchs, making them go back into the deck. And Vanities. Vanities, again, it's great for Cosmos, not so much for Monarchs, but you have to use this card correctly in this deck because it's all special summoning. Most of the time I like to activate this when I have Kalut in my hand, so I have something to send to the grave in case I need a special summon. Then 1 Solemn and 1 Bottomless. Again, it's just summon negation. Now for the extra deck. For your Blackwings, you're going to run double Nathung. Nathung hits them with the Ga 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 Cowboy effect. You lose the 800, and then it gives you an additional normal summon. So your opponent loses 800, one of their monsters loses 800 attack and defense, and you get another normal summon. So at Whirlwind, you're getting another search. You can make crazy plays with this. Then 1 Hawk Joe. Hawk Joe, if he's targeted by any effect, and it's just him, you can push it onto another Blackwing monster, and you can bounce a level 5 or higher monster. So this plays with Sirocco and with Nathung, those combo really well. Then 1 Raikou, the Rain Shower. This card's amazing for pendulums. You might even want to put 2 in if you face pendulums a lot. He destroys cards on the field up to the number of Blackwings you control, so he's great for getting rid of Scales and back row. He's basically a built-in Regeki, built-in Harpy's Feather Duster. Then you're going to run 1 Armor Master. Armor Master can't be destroyed by battle, and you don't take any damage from attacks involving that. Then if you attack, monster gets a counter on it. Next turn you remove the counter, the attack becomes 0. And then 1 Silverwind. Silverwind is really good now because of Harmattan. Gets you into those 8 stars very easily. Basically, when he Synchro Summons, you can pop 2 monsters whose defense is less than his attack. So whose defense is less than 2800, you destroy them. And then once per turn, once per duel, if a monster would be destroyed by battle, it isn't. He saves them. That's it for your Blackwing Synchros. Now for your non-Blackwings, for 6, you're going to run 1 Goyo. Again, he's great, 2800 attack, and he when he destroys monster by battle, special summons it on your side of the field. Yazi's great because he can't be targeted. No, not this one. Yazi's great because he can't be targeted, and you can pop him and a back row if you need to. It's a great card. Then Clearwing. This one's pricey. You don't have to put it in. You could put in another Joe for Clearwing. But he negates level 7 or higher effects, destroys them, and then he gains their attack. Then you have Black Rose. Black Rose blows up the entire field. He's a built-in Dark Hole. Then Stardust. Stardust is great because in this deck you're very attack heavy, so you could get him out, tribute him to negate effects that would destroy monsters. Then for your Xyz, I run an Arc, Abyss Dweller, and Castel. These are the only 3 you really need in this deck. Arc is good because you could take your opponent's monster, you can save himself. Abyss Dweller negates grave effects, so this is great for Cosmos, great for Monarchs again. And Castel's good because most of these effects are dark effects, so if people get Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors, you use this to bounce it back into the deck. Or you use Black Rose to blow up their whole field. And then lastly, 1 Norden. The combo plays you can make with Norden are sick. I've OTK'd people several times because I drew an instant fusion and had a monster in Whirlwind. So yeah, this is a great card for making combos. So that's it. Let us know what you think. Give us feedback in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
See you guys.